Welcome to another episode of the Thought Exchange Cafe. Exchange Cafe. Exchange Cafe.
You're tuned into the cafe of the mind, where thoughts are brewed and souls unwind. The air is rich with dreams so fine. We pour our hearts in every line. The whispers dance like light through trees, the melody that sets us free. Welcome to the Thought Exchange, where ideas flow and minds array. A place where words will never fade. In this cafe, we're unafraid.
Greetings and welcome to another episode coming to you from the Thought Exchange Cafe, where we bring you educational, motivational, and inspirational content, as well as information and content that may help you to eliminate some of your fears by sharing some of my own life experiences and getting caught up at some of those crossroads and having to make a decision. Let me start out with a reading by Roy T. Bennett. Somewhere in this vast world, a soul breathes easier and a heart feels lighter simply because you are here. Quiet proof that your life matters. Your life matters. And I want to thank you for tuning in and sharing some of your time with me just as well, too. I want to thank all the subscribers and all the viewers in the beginning right now, because I don't want to forget later on down the line, because you're very important. You're very important to the support of this platform, but you're also very important with the information that you shared, your comments, your thoughts. They send out ripples through your community, through your household, and through you. Because as they say, as within, so without. What you carry within you, you're going to display that outside of you. And our emotions play a key role in those things that we carry within us. Those things that we carry within us, right? We want to make sure that we're cultivating the right things, but we also want to make sure that we're eating the right things just as well too, and that we are investing more in ourselves than we do on our jobs, right? Because when you invest more in yourself, you become that much more valuable, and not just valuable to yourself or the corporate world or your business, but you become more valuable to your family and your friends, because it's your family and your friends and those people that don't judge that truly matter. And it's those people that are going to be looking to you for some leadership. It's going to be those people that's going to be looking to you when they get caught at the crossroads or their emotions are high and they don't know how to regulate them. You're going to have to be the one. Matter of fact, let me ask you a question. How many times have your phone rang? And on the other end of that phone, there was someone asking you, what would you do if you was in their situation, or you was wearing their shoes? What would you do? And I know that some of us sometimes can, I know for myself sometime when I get those phone calls or people come and ask me, what would you do if you was going through X, Y, and Z? And the only way I could answer them is if I went through that experience. If I went through that experience, then I will be able to share some information with them. But if it's an experience that I have not been through, I will let them know I have not been through that experience, because it's better to tell the truth than just to say something. And I would say I haven't experienced that in my life just of yet. And what I will do, I will go and do some research and come back to you. Or better yet, let's sit down and let's talk about it and let's see what might be your best options for what you have in front of you right now. Because sometimes we have more assets in front of us that we're not recognizing. And what I mean by those assets could be other people. Those assets could be things that we've experienced in the past, and what we're experiencing right now today is not new. And then we can go back at that and say, "This is what I did. So if I do this now, I'm going to be okay." And one of those assets is patience. Another asset is just being quiet and finding yourself a nice little place and getting away from all the noise. Because as the quote says, there's a quote that says that in a world full of shouts, a whisper can go a long way. And sometimes that's all that we require. Is just a whisper from a different voice, other than the voice that is in our head that is talking very loudly. On the last two previous episodes, there was part one and part two. And I was talking about the 4 P's: planning, planning, patience, persistence, and positivity over paralysis analysis. Paralysis analysis, from my perspective, is getting caught up in that planning stage and just continuing to plan, trying to make it perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. We can get 99%, but nothing's ever going to be perfect. And it's okay because we're imperfect beings, but we're perfect in our imperfection. And also, there's a book called The Frequency Effect. On my last episodes, I was saying to you that I'm reading this book, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to share some information out of the book with you. But not just information, but how I begin to apply this information to see if it was going to be valuable for me or conducive for me. And I believe that reading, when they say reading is fundamental, reading is greater than fundamental. Reading allows our neurological makeup, those neurons, to fire differently. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, that we're balls of energy. And every time we have a thought, our brain fires differently and it sends out an electrical current. And that electrical current is sent out beyond our flesh. And that's what they talk about, the aura, your aura. I can feel your energy. I can feel your aura. I can see something on you. Oh, well, you're dark today. Oh, you're light today. I see you shining. That's your aura. So I want to read from chapter 20. And actually, forgive me, it's chapter 6, the listening body. And it's going to be short. Coherence begins in the heart, but it's the subconscious mind that holds the program. Thought can spark change, but only the subconscious makes it last. Until it accepts the signal, your body keeps broadcasting the old one. Your subconscious governs your default state, and it doesn't respond to isolated thoughts. It responds to repetition combined with emotion. Only then does it begin to accept the new pattern as real. This is a requirement. Thought must be charged by emotion to reach the subconscious. And what I got out of that is that when I think something, that thought brings about an emotion. It can be a positive emotion or it could be a negative emotion. It could be one of confidence, or it could be one of fear. It's all about how I allow that picture in my mind to be painted. But also at the same time, it's about how I control my emotions, how I begin to practice emotional intelligence in my everyday walk, from the time I get up to the time I lay down. Because guess what? Who's in control? You're in control. You're in control of your thoughts. Sometimes your thoughts want to control you. But I had to learn how to take that back. And one of the things that I've learned what to do is to begin to speak positive words to myself, even in the midst of making a mistake, being late, and sometimes saying the wrong thing. I had to learn I'm learning still today how to slow down for a minute and think about what it is that I'm going to say to myself. But more so, I have to begin to ask myself a question. What feeling am I feeling right now? And how is that feeling being conducive to my present day? And sometimes, yeah, we can be tired because work, home, and a whole bunch of other things that are going on can begin to weigh us down. And sometimes we just need a break. Sometimes we just need to find a quiet space and get away once again from that noise in a world full of shouts where everyone is trying to be heard. A self whisper, a kind self whisper to yourself can go a long way. And I had to begin to practice that. I had to begin to remember that I am the most important person, and everything starts with me, and everything ends with me. And once again, there's no being perfect. There's no being perfect. Everybody's going to make mistakes, including myself. And in making that mistake, let me use that mistake as data not to do that again. But let's go back to the subconscious mind, that internal mind, that internal space that is in between my two ears. Because it's that internal space in between my two ears that can either lead me to having a brighter day, or if I follow certain ways that this mind is trying to direct me to, it could become cloudy and dark. And that's when I have to make a decision. And one of those decisions, I have to say, what are you going to do? Which direction are you going to go in? Because once again, I got to remember that it is what is inside of me that's going to be conveyed outside of me. We talk about food, what you put in you. What you put in you is either going to drive you to be healthier by feeding your internal organs and your brain, where you begin to think a lot clearer and see a lot better, or am I going to eat something just to fill my belly, just to feel that feeling, but not to fill my internal organs or nourish those internal organs, which keeps me going. So those are some of the decisions that we have to make on a daily basis, right? And getting to know oneself, but more so, how do we inspire oneself? What is inspiration to you? Put it in the comments. What is inspiration to you? Inspiration to me is being able to be confident in my ability, but also at the same time, understanding that other people are going through some things, and some days they're not at their best. So when they're not at their best, let me recognize that and not react, but respond in kind. Because when I respond in kind, and even though they may not respond the same way, I know that I did my job. And I know that I engaged with a good heart. I engaged with a clean spirit, but also I was doing the best I can to inspire and to give some hope and to help someone. We grow through people and projects, and that could be in your home, that could be in your workplace. Anywhere we go, we're in communication with someone else. And it's how we communicate with that other person is that how we're going to get the feedback, what type of feedback we're going to get. Now, once again, I understand that every day is not the same. If it's not the same for me, let me keep in mind it's not going to be the same for that next person. And a smile costs you nothing. A good morning costs you nothing. But that could change the trajectory of someone's day, including my own and yours. My name is Tony Davis, coming to you from the Thought Exchange Cafe podcast. And this is a platform that has been created in order to share your thoughts, in order to bring about some internal change with not just myself, but with someone else. Because, see, there are other platforms out there. There are many, right? And I'm not here to give someone a quick dopamine rush or quick hit. I'm not looking for that quick dopamine rush or that quick hit, because I had that quick dopamine rush and that quick hit, and it landed me in a whole bunch of places that I did not want to be. So that's not what I'm here for. And I hope and pray, right, that you are doing something in order to inspire yourself and inspire another to make some changes, to make some better changes for oneself. Because when we begin to make those changes, other people are watching you. Once again, you're a leader. You're a leader in your home. You're a leader at work. And maybe somebody's watching you just to see what you do, because they're afraid to ask you, how have you gotten to this place without losing your mind or falling over on the side of the road? So once again, do the best that you can, right, to convey a great message and to inspire someone. But at the same time, remember, in that subconscious mind, in our thoughts, those are some of the things that control how we engage with one another. Until I see you again, and when we do come back, right? So I have a lineup set up, and this lineup is going to have folks. We're going to talk about more mental health. We're going to talk about the health benefits of food. We're going to talk about some of those pathways and some of those dark roads that we've traveled down just as well too. And keep this in mind. We didn't get here without having challenges, and you didn't get to where you're at right now without having challenges, right? And once again, nothing's ever going to be perfect. So until I see you again, may God bless you. May God continue to hold you, and may God keep you, and be safe. Take care.